Today we're going to go over the basics in puppy training. We always want to set our puppy up for success, and so to do that, we got to make sure that they have the right amount of exercise. This is mental and physical. We also want to know how to reward their behavior and how to correct behavior when they're doing something wrong. And we always need to be consistent and use repetitions. Let's talk about physical exercise. Dogs need a lot of physical exercise. Some dogs have been bred to run all day long and get back at it the following day. A walk is fine, but it's not going to meet your dog's needs. We need your puppy to sprint and run to get the right amount of exercise. Mental exercise is just as important as the physical. We need to keep their brains engaged to ward off any of those nuisance behaviors. There's a lot of fun and creative things you can do with your puppy to engage their brain and keep them busy. The saying goes, a tired dog is a good dog, and this is so true. If your dog has all their physical and mental needs met, they aren't going to be doing those nuisance behaviors around the house. For example, they won't be barking out the window, waiting for someone to walk by. They won't be digging in your backyard, and they won't be constantly looking for attention and needing to be entertained at all times. There are a lot of ways to exercise your puppy. Playing fetch is a great structured way to exercise your puppy. Some dogs pick this up quick, and some take a little more time or even need to be trained to play fetch. You can play the puppy come game. With at least 2 people, you can play this game. Each person has some treats, and you take your turn calling your puppy. Not only is this great exercise, but you're also working on recall. You can also grab a long leash, anywhere between 15 to 50 feet long, and take your puppy to the park and run. You don't need to have much structure when you're doing this. Just get your puppy to run around and explore. When they hit the end of the leash, call them back to you. This is a great way to let them get some energy out and also work on the recall. Puppy playdates are hands down the best exercise for your puppy. Another dog can match your puppy's energy level, and it is great for socialization. Of course, always supervise these play sessions. There are multiple ways to mentally exercise your puppy. And one way is with interactive toys. There are a ton of toys out there that make your puppy use their brain. Some where your dog has to knock the toy around to get treats to fall out. It's like having a puzzle to solve. Take your puppy on a sniffing walk. Your dog on a walk and just follow them. Let their nose be the guiding force. They will take in so much information and be mentally exhausted by the end of it. You can also dive into a training session. Learning new behaviors is hard for a dog. Some learn faster than others, but either way, it is a great way to wear out their energy and get them to focus on something. And it's really fun. You can also go play the Find It game. Hide a treat somewhere easy to find. Once they find it, have a celebration and do it again, gradually making it harder. Eventually, you'll be able to hide it anywhere throughout your house or in your backyard. Always remember, behavior that is rewarded is most likely to be repeated, but the value of that reward is entirely up to the student. And what are rewards anyways? Anything your dog sees as a positive and is motivation to repeat the desired behavior. Dogs, just like humans, work for rewards. Rewards can be food, play, affection, other dogs, going on walks, having the doors open. Really, anything that your dog desires is considered a reward. Make sure to learn your dog. Sometimes what we offer as a reward is in fact not a reward in your dog's eyes. We can call a dog to us and pat them on the head to reward them. But your dog backs away and interprets that pat as punishment. We meant for it to be rewarding, but the dog is the one who decides, and he has decided the pat on the head is definitely not a reward. I use a lot of treats whenever I'm training with a puppy. It's fast and it's easy. So let's talk about the different kinds of treats. We have our basic treats. This is their kibble. If we're in the house and there's no distractions, then I'll use their basic food. Boring treats also fall under this category. So like milk bones or anything that's just more bland and not as stinky. Then there's the better treats. These are the treats that are better than their food. They're willing to eat these with little distraction, but if a squirrel were to appear, it is game over. Think more of the store-bought treats that have a little more pizzazz to them than the basic treats. They're good, but they're still better out there. And then there's the best treats. These are the wow treats. No matter what is going on around them, they will give you attention for the chance to eat these. Think chicken, turkey, ham, cheese, hot dogs. You may have to get creative, but I promise you there is something out there that is the wow treat for your puppy. And when we are working in highly distracted environments, I want you to use these wow treats. Every interaction we have with your puppy is a training session because every behavior has a consequence. A consequence can be negative or it can be positive. Think of every behavior as your puppy pushing a button. If something positive happens, they're going to push it again. If nothing or something negative happens, they're going to look for buttons to get them what they want. When wanting to correct your puppy's behavior, you must first ask yourself, what are they getting out of this behavior? And that is where the training can start. Let's take a puppy jumping up as an example. A puppy jumps up for attention. Now that we know that they want attention, we must make sure that they aren't getting rewarded with attention to discourage the behavior. Negative attention is still attention, so ignoring the dog 100% is the best way to prevent this from happening in the future. If jumping doesn't get them the desired outcome, they will have to find another way to get our attention. Like sitting, for example. If they were to sit, then they can get attention. Or simply just having all 4 feet on the floor. That can get them attention. Now, every puppy is going to make a mistake, and so we need to learn how to correct them appropriately. The best time to give your puppy a correction is when you see your puppy about to make a mistake, the moment they start the bad behavior or while in the act of the bad behavior. If it's after the fact, there's no way they can possibly be corrected for something that's in the past. When your puppy is making a mistake, the ways to fix this is to interrupt their bad behavior, redirect them, and then reward them with what we want them to do instead. And that's the most important thing, is you must know what you want them to do instead. And so let's just take chewing on a shoe, for example. Interrupt them, give them a little or clap your hands, and then redirect them to an appropriate toy to chew on, and then reward them whenever they're chewing on it. You can drop treats while they're chewing on it or praise, but make sure that you are telling them what they're supposed to be doing instead. We don't want your puppy to live in a world of no's, so every time that you find yourself correcting them, I want you to find 10 things to praise them for. The more we can find things to reward them for, the more likely those things will be repeated, and habits will be formed. And habits are formed with consistency and repetition. Decide on the house rules and stick with them. If you stay consistent, it is much easier for your puppy to learn and know what to expect. And practice with your puppy as often as you can. The more you practice, the faster your puppy will learn. If we can consistently show them the right answer followed by the reward, they will quickly learn what is right and wrong.